By the late 14th century, the Ottoman Empire moved deep into Europe, physically cutting Constantinople off from its hinterlands. Their victory at Kosovo in 1389 ended Serbian power, and a failed crusade at Nicopolis left no military force capable of halting the Turkish advance. This left Constantinople as an isolated island, a physical barrier of ancient stone walls that represented the very last vestige of the Roman Empire. For generations, these defenses made the city a target that had defied every conqueror who attempted to take it. In 1453, the 21-year-old Sultan Mehmed II succeeded where all others had failed, finally breaching the city's walls. But he quickly discovered that seizing the city was only half the battle. As a Muslim Turk occupying a deeply Orthodox Christian capital, Mehmed knew that ruling by sword alone would invite constant internal revolt and a unified holy war from the rest of Christian Europe. To hold his prize, he had to find a way to govern a hostile foreign population without spending his entire reign fighting them. Mehmed's solution relied on co-opting the city's existing religious infrastructure rather than dismantling it. He sought out the Orthodox Patriarch, Gennadios, and established a formal political arrangement. The Eastern Orthodox Church was permitted to keep its land and its autonomy, provided it publicly accepted Ottoman authority. The deal worked because of a long history of distrust between the Byzantines and Western European powers like Venice. The Byzantine official Lucas Notaras summarized the local mood perfectly when he said, "Better the Sultan's turban than the cardinal's hat." By weaponizing these existing European divisions, Mehmed turned the city's religious identity into an engine for Ottoman stability. With the city pacified, Mehmed took his most audacious step. He officially assumed the title Kaiser-i-Rum. This meant Roman Emperor. He was positioning himself not just as a Turkish conqueror, but as the legitimate, universal heir to the Roman throne. This dual identity was carved into the city itself. Inside the Hagia Sophia, massive Islamic calligraphic medallions were hung directly beneath the ancient Byzantine dome. The title signaled the shift of the Ottoman state from a regional power to a transcontinental empire with a claim to universal rule. To prove he was the true Roman emperor, Mehmed planned a campaign for the original Rome, invading the West to unite the ancient empire. In 1480, Ottoman troops crossed the Adriatic and captured Otranto, establishing a military foothold on the Italian peninsula. They held this territory for nearly a year, only retreating because of Mehmed's sudden death in 1481. This campaign demonstrated that Ottoman ambition was no longer local; they were now competing for global supremacy. The administrative and religious structures Mehmed established stabilized the empire's core for the next 2 centuries. With Constantinople secured as a central logistics hub and the Balkan rear stabilized, the empire's military focus could shift. The pressure on the western frontier subsided enough for future sultans to pivot their full resources toward the Islamic heartlands of the south and east. This stability allowed his successor, Selim I, to conquer Egypt and claim the Islamic Caliphate, transferring the holy relics to Topkapi Palace in Istanbul. This foundation eventually supported Suleiman the Magnificent, who built a dominant Mediterranean navy and presided over the apex of Ottoman architectural power. Mehmed II achieved his legacy by recognizing that while cannons could take a city, only the adoption of its history, faiths, and titles could truly build an empire. He proved that lasting power relies on the control of legitimacy.